All right, I've returned. Uncle Four Eyes is back, and we're going to look at these two comics. You know, they're a little relevant right now, and I just kind of want to talk about how I love and hate these comics. So it's going to be a fun little spicy conversation. Let's start with the New Mutants '98. Let's get rid of that shit. All right, so I'm sure everyone and their mother has said what they think of Rob Liefeld's art and everything and all the takes you want to take on that. So mine's no different, but hopefully it's at least mildly entertaining. Let's see. Well, obviously this is the introduction of Deadpool, Gideon, and the fake Domino or whatever. And yeah, this cover's pretty decent. Um, Sorry for the glare. I'll try and make it so that it's not this video is not completely annoying to watch or even listen to. Uh, the character faces are good. Like there's some line work here that I do like, but then there'd be like choices like this when they really there's like the cross hatching, and it's like I don't know, just kind of seems like what kind of cross hatching? Like some of this stuff kind of makes sense, like but I don't know, like does that cross hatching need to be there? That just looks like hairy arm. Yes, we all know the giant leg to body ratio, which this one I feel like is egregious versus some of the other ones that are inside the interior. Like this one's just wacky. I mean, I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. Like it's one of those things where like there's just something funny, like it's kooky. Like there's just some type of I don't know. It's just like that friend that you're like he's annoying, but he's very captivating, or he's I can't ignore the energy that they provide. But yeah, the arm being that far down. I don't know. It's just kind of weird to think that like gotta I guess have superhero proportions, but like, is this it? Like, it doesn't need to be like the classic body proportions, but I guess doesn't need to go this far. This knife too is like, is he technically holding it? Like every time I look at that, I feel like, is he actually holding that? Like the way his arm is situated back there, the knife would be coming kind of like coming at you a little bit this way if he's holding it that way, and probably wouldn't read that well. Uh, I like the composition. Like this is a little. I could honestly do without these guys, even though I know it's reactionary shots, which I don't know. I mean, obviously, spend a second here on the cover because it's the fucking cover. You should scrutinize the cover the most out of everything, even though the interior is pretty obviously important. But this is what everyone sees, and this is what people slab and whatnot, and some other stupid shit. So, like, I would imagine you'd want, covers have to be cool. It's the rule of cool when it comes to comic books, at least. The rule of cool is always reigns supreme. And at least this kind of looks cool. So I'm not going to completely bury the lead. Um, I just realized, like, where's that smoke coming from? Is that technically coming from the barrel or not? I don't know. Get your copy out and see. And I know, and that was a bit of a joke. Um, I don't know. Like, I don't think the hair is completely egregious. Um, I don't know. Maybe some of the consistent, like, there's some variety in that hair, but I don't know. I don't hate that. I don't hair that. Um, Same with like this posture. This posture is not too bad. Again, on a they're not on any surface, so that's kind of strange. Not saying they need to be on a plane because there's already these guys looking at them from behind, but I don't know. It just seems like an odd. I really dig Gideon's pose. This is I feel like solid, and it's probably because of the giant parachute that he's wearing. that kind of helps hide a lot of the wacky anatomy. But I mean, the poses I feel like decent, and like the way that the fabric kind of lays. It again, it looks kind of like a giant parachute or your mother's drapes. But I think for the most part, the folds and stuff, and like the texturing for like this little gradient here is not too bad because it's kind of at least got some swoopage. It's not just straight like it goes with the contour, so at least it makes it feel like there's something going on. But then I don't know. Actually, I just realized I don't know what the fuck that is. I mean, it's his leg, but I don't know what that is. Like that's his thigh. That's his uh, calf. So he's, and I guess if we're going off the rules like this, is his crotch here? So then his legs like this. Like I don't. Oh wait, his. Oh, it's right there. What? Okay, whatever. I'm always going to be making fun of this stuff because this has like this is one of those things where it's like, yeah, you can always go, oh, someone's making fun of Rob Liefeld art again. I've never heard that before, but it's just like the gift that keeps on giving. Like with just how wacky it is, but like there's still some type of magnetism to it. Like I don't know, it's that weird. I think it's a weird phenomenon where it's like, like I think this like again the rule of badass. Like I think their faces look good. Like especially like you got Cable, and again doesn't help that it's a very simple face. But I really actually kind of like this face, like this take on. Well, let's just get into it. Deadpool. This honestly looks kind of like he's just cribbing a Jim Lee drawing from an X Men. Um, and of course, where do we begin with this one? This one's fun, but still, what the fuck? Like, of course, it's a kids comic, so you just calm down. We don't need any descriptions there. But I do want to know: is this the buttocks? Like, is this technically the backside? Like, because again, again, it's a kids comic, so just imagine that he's a Ken doll. He has no anatomy. So is that the bottom of the what is it? The pelvic bone? So like you have like the pelvic bone right here, and it does kind of have a little bit of a ridge down this way. Is that what that is, or are these the buttocks? And like, I guess I'm obviously gonna get into the nitty gritty of random fixations of anatomy, but this I'm assuming is the like the muscle kind of that I want to say exists, but it's that like muscle that's right behind your obviously the front of your leg, and of course I failed anatomy class, so I'm not going to be able to tell you what any of this shit is. But I know how to draw it. I mean, not whatever's worth drawing. Like I guess this is worth drawing. Whatever this is. Again, I think this is the backside of your leg, and this is the buttocks. But since you don't, I guess since men makes me want to just look at actual real anatomy and go, if you just took away the groin, would you just have butt cheeks kind of hanging out the back this way? Because clearly this is what a female's anatomy would look like, but he's not a female. Um, at least that's what he's clearly supposed to be a man. Uh, there's this kind of stitching that kind of looks. I mean, it's shading, but it looks kind of like stitching. Kind of. He's actually really scary if you looked at like just like certain components. Like his face is kind of creepy. I mean, I like it, but I mean, and of course, my comic has just the whole point is to make everything look wacky and kind of creepy and off-putting. But I can't really judge that part of it. But then it's just like this kind of makes his head look like he's got like a leather stitched like gimp mask or head, or like a really bad bald cap, like where you can see the seams. I dig the fingers, even though he does this with everything, where he just kind of they don't really have a purpose. They just kind of. We'll see more of that going in. I don't know what this picture's telling me, and of course, I'm an artist. I'm not a writer, even though I do write or I like talking about writing. But we are also talking about how this is also plotted by Rob Liefeld as well. So like there is a little bit of a we can kind of get into the nuance, not nuance, but vague the vague story implement of implying why this pose, for example, like what why is he going like is he Dracula? I don't know. Again, the anatomy, it's fine. Uh, Again, I like some of the stuff where again you have this kind of unnecessary, but at least it gives dynamism to the image where the hair's flowing. Like that's the thing too, where it's like the idea of like when you cartoon or when you are using like cartoon, like constant, like what do you call it, like how do you articulate something where you want to push it to the extreme? Obviously, this, of course, we're going to now flip, which I think is the only flip in the book, which is nice because I think Todd McFarlane would make you flip this book like 6 times in one reading, which that should also be a fucking minimum amount. Like you should do that once per book, maybe twice if there's something really, if you really are bold enough to figure out why you would need to flip it twice. But I think they kind of ran that into the ground during this time of the extreme Marvel comic book 90s era. And again, I'm going to make fun of it, but I also kind of dig it at the same time, so it's okay. Nerds can make fun of other nerds and be completely self-aware that they are also nerds that should be made fun of. Oh, look at Piggy. I don't know. I don't know if that looks like a piggy to me. There you go. Looks like a piggy because he's got just a little bit of dots on the nose, so it looks like it's this piggy nose. What to say about this picture? Wow. This is like probably like the best part of the whole thing. It's just at least the posh. I don't know, not even the posture, but I mean the dynamism or whatever you want to call it. I dig the. I mean, this whole fight is him just punching robots' heads off. So just stick to the one idea. So pop, hit one head off. Pop, hit one head off. Yay! I mean, if it works, don't I guess don't change. This arm is fucking weird. And again, I know people are you're just gonna just talk shit all the whole video. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of fun to kind of add a little banter back and forth about like what I like and what I don't like. And since this isn't the '90s and I'm not a professional artist who's complaining about someone who's more successful than me, then I can say whatever I want because this is some old art that sure maybe he doesn't draw like this anymore. I don't think so. I think he's always drawn this way. Um, I don't think a good good Rob Liefeld art, but good ideas. Um, yeah, this I love this little tangent. I like the little man, little robot with the big arms. Uh, great choice of colors to kind of make everything kind of bleed together. But then like he stands out, which is I guess the only highlight of having everything kind of be kind of a slight cool muddy color. I mean, it's not, but you know what I mean. Like you kind of blur your eyes a little bit, or everything goes kind of into the background except for him, which again I wouldn't say is necessarily a bad thing. Um, you have to have the obligatory. I don't know where we are, but we're in some type of danger room area. So, which I think is what's going on. I think he's just having a little fight sesh with his robots. Um, when you wear your leotard or your leggings and your I don't know, it reminds me of the like I don't know, like Robin Hood vest. Yeah, and so I think he's in the danger room. This again, I don't mind this like the panel layout and stuff, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's done to a good degree. Like I don't know. There's something about like this as a pacing isn't terrible. Like but what's in it is kind of eh. Uh, and again, since I'm not the greatest artist in the world, I still am not going to go, oh, he didn't like the perspective looks off or whatever. It's like this is honestly totally fine by me. I mean, I could argue that yeah, it's not in perspective or whatever, but like fuck that. Like this is good enough. Like this sells the idea that you're looking above them. You know, like there's some depth to their like they're not just standing on a impossible thing. I mean, you could argue, oh, it looks like they're standing on a wall, like or defying gravity, but that's not actually too bad. Um, you know, I'll point out what the kayfaber guys had pointed out, where there's this tangent with this line, purple on purple, bad choice there. Um, there's a lot of the clicking going on throughout this whole comic. I don't know if that's another thing where like click is like obviously there's tons of it. It sounds like a racial slur. I don't want to say it too many times. Um, but yeah, I don't know if those are the robots making that noise, or is that the is there a timer that he set an egg timer to fight these things before his work during his workout? Like, is there going to be a bomb that goes off if he doesn't destroy them fast enough? Um, again, like some of this is okay, like where I feel like you could tweak this, and of course, it's hindsight kind of critiquing. Oh well, how about you try drawing a comic in 1 month and not have a bunch of errors in it? Um, but anyways, nice ass. I don't get the whole. I don't get this pose cutting from this panel to this panel when he's there, and then his foot is behind. Like that's just a bad idea. Like I don't mind this. Like I don't know why you would need to continue the leg. Like there's no like that. Like if that's trying to be artsy fartsy or something, I don't know. Um, but also I don't know. Like he's down here. Like this is another thing too. Like the like I'm gonna destroy like just constantly pick apart like the what do you call it, the blocking, where he's like down here and you're looking down at him. Oh no, they're lunging at him. Click click click. Whatever that is. I don't know. Maybe I should have read the comic. Oh no, he didn't read the comic. Um, but then he's up, jumps up. But like, I'm assuming that's what he did. He just jumped while before they could all jump, blah, like dogpile on him. So then there's still some homies up here, or well, one of these I'm assuming was down here going, hey, and this one was still like high up, so he's still kind of in the mid drop. But then I guess as he comes down, is he grabbing this guy? Because this is the biggest problem is when you have them all look the same or whatever, but like there's just enough of a difference to where you're like, okay, well, this guy's head looks kind of like this guy's head. Is that is that is that the same robot? Same with like, is that guy right here going? Oh no, is he the one getting thwomp throop? Or no, I'm using a P in there. Throop throop. Hey, if you're gonna write it, I better be able to say it and sound like an idiot saying it. So come on. I like this though. I don't mind the whole like face and shadow, and I mean, granted, I don't know how he got to this point, but I like that he just grabs a full giant robot that I'm assuming is heavier than he is. Like maybe that's why he's got the gold arms. Is he's got some strength in behind it, by to strong enough to pick up in midair. I don't know. Did he come back down? Grab? I don't see. I don't know the blocking. This doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, I mean, I do like the idea that you would just Ninja Turtle whip the Foot Clan robot into the other Foot Clan robot. But yeah, and then you just get this like the obligatory patio screen door, whatever thing that everyone likes to make fun of. Let's see, zoom in a little bit. There we go. Okay, I feel like you're probably not seeing exactly what I'm pointing at. And then I don't know, then he just throws another robot, which again, I know like comics, again, are chunks of time, but sometimes it's just like, I don't know exactly what he did in this moment entirely. So I like that robot. Look at him. He's cool. I like that he would take my shirt or my jacket. I like that he would you know put that in the on the bed during the party. Oh well, he's also gonna throw it on Gideon's back or whatever. I'm assuming is what he just did. I would have loved to see that. I just want to see the scene in between where it just shows the robot going, just draping it over his shoulders. Um, this isn't bad. I like the perspective of this. He's coming back again. Apparently, he's been up in the air this whole time. Again, I don't. How the fuck do I would know that unless whatever. Again, uh, but like how to articulate the foreshortening of that is kind of not. It's not bad. Again, there's little moments like this where you're like, this it doesn't need. I feel like this is a good example. You don't need to have like a textbook knowledge of like foreshortening. Like fuck that. Like just this looks competent enough. Go for it. Um, yeah. Again, uh, this is fine. I like this, even though now that I look at it more, I don't know what's going on here. Is that his back or his front? And is he look? So I'm assuming he's looking at him. So has he got his arms behind his back? Like I don't know of anyone who could do that. I mean, I guess you. I mean, yeah, you can do that, but I mean, it doesn't look possible. I do like the idea of like just the two characters talking. You can easily just have him standing, the two of them standing in a void, addressing each other. That's fine. Nice ass. Everyone's gonna have nice ass in this. Everyone has perfect toned bodies, because that's what superheroes do. Oh, hey, we're gonna see more of these little random jagged rock pieces for no fucking reason. Um, also, is that the same jacket coat thing? Like, what the hell? That looks like a completely different outfit. It's the same color, but doesn't look the same. Um, yeah, I don't know who this twink is. Uh, there you go. I don't have much more to say about this. Yay, look at the big robot. One-eyed man. I like these robots. They're cute. I'm being funny. They got him all locked up. I don't know why, because I didn't read this, because I don't read comics. Not really, I do, but not all of them. Not this one. I'm gonna fucking read this book. Um, this kind of lock. I feel like this is one of those examples that locks you in. You got a infinite looping, which is not okay. Again, maybe I'm wrong. Wow, but what you do is your eye kind of goes like this. Like there's no way, uh, nothing. I mean, someone would argue this is how you break out of it, but no one goes this way unless you're reading this direction. Like if you were reading this direction, sure, go that way or whatever. But I don't know. I'm not sold on the. I mean, this looks cool. I like the blocking of this where the illusion of him like again somehow he's here and then we I think he breaks the 180 rule a lot, which always confuses the audience as to why that's a rule. But I think he's going this way, and yet is he does he grab the robot and like imagine the animation of him like grabbing him and then going this way and then he's coming this way. So like you're technically in the same perspective. Like you didn't break the 180 rule. Where again, the 180 rule is the camera's here, and you lock the camera in that position. So as soon as this isn't 180 because my hands can't. I mean, I'm not going to try and. But if you flip the and had the camera here, most of the action or most of the whatever in most context is relevant to the camera pointing this direction. Uh, when you put the camera this way and break the 180 and it goes this way, all of a sudden people are going to go, wait, now where are they in relative to the area, the space? Um, Again, I don't want to know what's going on here with the whole pushing a giant robot with carrying a giant robot somehow, I guess, with cable on attached to him. They're arguing or bickering, and then he somehow gets released, and then they smash. This looks good. I like the way it looks. Like this is a nice visual. Like I like the look of him being here gives you the idea that, and them being over here gives the idea that he got released from them, and they're continuing their momentum and boom, smashing in, boom, into the again into the generic robot. We are in the digital world. I always feel like we're in the cyber world where everything in this and everything in the like 90s extreme comics like era, like they're all in just these like the Cube the movie or something kind of torture places. Um, but yeah, vip vip vroom. There's some more things I'm not going to say. This is a sweet pose. I like this. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not gonna say much more about that. This I don't get. Is he attacking him or is he shooting the robot? Also, I don't like this execution because this makes it. A mangaka would have done a better job of showing you the time of like when you go poof poof and you're trying to show those two shots. Like is that what he's trying to say? Because I don't know where this guy's coming from. Because otherwise, it just looks like a fart that you're an invisible laser or whatever. And then apparently he's shooting at him, and he's like, "Hey, why are you shooting at me, you jerk?" Again, this is kind of fun shot. I like the the simple square, and then as he's coming down. Granted, again, they feel like they're talking, kind of like they're bickering or whatever. So it's kind of nice little back and forth to some extent. Standoff of them talking in the talk bubble, kind of breaking that up. Some obligatory door for whatever reason, because that is all of a sudden relevant again. Got some more hatching and whatnot. Again, a lot of the I like a lot of the just the vague shoo away. I don't have any competent or not competent, but like any confidence in what I want to do with my hand. I don't want to point. I don't want to, you know, uh, I don't know, something about that. Ooh, this scene. I love this scene. This scene sucks. Okay, color made the blue. So this is like that, like weird little black seam on the back of pantyhose, but it's blue, and then her skin is just there. So like that's not right. Good times. I like that. The first woman I think to see in the comic, not on the cover, but in the comic, I think. Um, and looks a lot like the men. Um, I love the background. If you were to say this was like a painting, like some abstract painting that he has up in his office, I'd totally understand. Like, yeah, that looks like what that is. But I'm pretty sure, and random curtain here. This is the windows out to the cityscape. This is why I think they all live in a like cyberpunk, not cyberpunk, like a cyber world. Like they live in the internet because this looks like it's like Osmosis Jones, but in the internet world. Fat Man stuck in the internet. Yeah. I don't know who this is. Again, all the guys vaguely have like this same kind of motif going, where it's like, okay. I don't. What is this skin tone? This. Oh, I don't know. What is this hand? I mean, it's just weird. A lot of empty space. Like this is not an office. Clear. Wait, dude, he has one of those MIB egg chairs. I just noticed that. Hell yeah. Okay, no, that's pretty fly. Got nothing else. There's no reason to have a desk except for the fact that you need to sit behind it because that's what successful CEOs or whatever this guy is in Brazil, as I read up there, do. There's more clicking, which again, what the fuck is the clicking for? I should have read this, and then maybe I would. No, I don't think I would have understood it, even if I read it. Um, oh man, this is my favorite scene right now. Not, like, I think there'll be better. Maybe there'll be better ones after this, but I couldn't get over this look. Like just looking at this. So, how do you drink something by just throwing it back like this? You don't just put it up to your lip. You just don't. You just right? No, you just go. You just throw it at your face, and you open your mouth wide and just hope that for the best. Um, Also, I would hate this cup. You can never put this cup down. It's like a weeble wobble. It would just like unless it could balance itself, it would just roll over and spill everywhere. Fuck. Um, that it would be that's a fucking cruel like white elephant gift. Um, but so yeah, so he goes, what the fuck was in that? Fucking like what the fuck is this hand? And somehow the cup is dropping. That I don't know. I don't get the motion of the cup and whatnot. Well, better get a good solid. He's dying and his cup is still floating in the midsection of his body. It's traveled maybe an inch. So this is probably like, am I supposed to just look at this like it's like 1 second's worth? Like barely any time is. Um, Good times. Actually, I just realized his chair changes too, or at least it looks different. Like again, no offense to people who draw drawing is life and whatnot. But what the fuck? That's not that. Also, this is a pretty badass looking. I wish they'd made office chairs look like this now. That would actually be like it would. I feel like that would be a relevant style. Where we're like, yeah, we're all gonna do the Xavier floating chair style for the 2024 designs. And yeah, and then you would just die with your mouth completely wide open. Well, his mouth is open there too, not as wide. But I'm assuming, did he just die with his mouth completely open this whole time? Anyway, I think the sound effects work with it. I do like this. Like this is a good solid like blocking of like my work here is done, and like there's a nice silhouette. Like this has got that noir vibe. This kind of feels like a Sin City shot. It's not as good as Sin City, of course, but it's got that. It's got a little thing. I also, real quick, this is nothing to do with the comic. I mean, other than it is my own headcanon. I like to think that Bart Simpson is saying this. So suicide is badass. Um, Eat pant. More anatomy that scares me. This one, it looks like he's wearing a giant jock strap. You know, for those extreme superhero, potentially ball bashing moments, they would have get obliterated. You think they would getting hurt at like during like a athletic sport in fighting with like superhero people? They would just squish like grape nuts. Grape nuts, just like a grape. Excuse me, just because my balls are the size of grape nuts, my brain totally said the wrong thing. Um, yeah, again, more of the how could you? They are apparently having a domestic conversation. This is a solid picture. I like this. I like some for some reason she's. I just want to use that noise. That look at that. That's scary. I hope your no one's foot actually looks like that. Again, I know. It's just go with the, just run with it, go with it. Also, the more angry he gets, the more naked he looks to seem to be getting, because there's no shirt there. The color throughout this whole comic, the color kind of skips out on some things. Like, fuck it, that's his shoulder. It doesn't need to match the green of the whatever. It's not there, so why would I color it if he didn't draw it? Um, that's her hopping off the countertop again. Why would you do that? Why are you just sitting? I mean, whatever. I guess if I would do that, if I was that cool, I guess I'd sit on countertops randomly. Um, Also, she then feels like, look, I. This looks like she broke her leg doing this dynamic jump off of what looks to be like maybe a 2 foot drop. So she's doing the thing where she's like, "Oh fuck, I fucked my ankle up," kind of bracing the the side of the table. Like, why would you do this unless you're ready to like throw the vase? And I love this pose. You really, I mean, again, I don't mind dynamicism or whatever, like this extreme, but there's just something about why are you in this pose at this time? Empty shelves. We need things for our shelves. There's some books. There's some Bart. This is fine. Whatever. This is fine. I like this. Character with no eyes for these shots to not really, I guess, work. Whoop de doo. Uh, the library no one goes into. Also, there you go. You don't have to worry about the oh, that's a expensive key. It's not. Um, yeah, you got some big ass books. Like hell yeah, get your reading on. This I like this. I like this look, like the look of his face, but it's also kind of scares me. Boom, boom. I don't know. Ooh, damn. I don't know if there's. Damn, his legs. Ooh, all fucked up. Now this is another one of those things where I'm sorry if I pause. It's me trying to like do the thing where I think of what would I do or like what's the solution to this dilemma. No robotic arm here. Also, this arm I feel like changes pretty off. Like consistently is different every time. Um, it just says the library, 2:51 p.m. A guy who's never been in a library before, standing in there. His eye is wait. For some reason I always think his eye flashes for some actual reason, but I bet it's probably for no reason at all. It's just again, it's the cool factor. Again, I'm not going to argue that it is kind of cool, but there's this like, am I supposed to believe that this is like a reaction to like he senses something happening and then, or is he just like, where the fuck is Dr. Seuss in this fucking labyrinth? And then just randomly gets. This also looks like he just gets hit with something, like someone just literally threw the book at him. But apparently, this guy I don't know his name. I don't know. Not a very popular character. Um, Somehow just explodes onto the scene, quite literally. And I don't know where. Like again, I'm kind of confused about where in orient like the orientation of like did he blow through the bookcase that he was just standing in front of? And well, these little spikes have come back. These are, I guess, are the shards of wood that would happen when it comes to. Again, I'm not really saying this is a bad idea. I kind of like this as a motif, but like I don't get it either. Like in this case, like sometimes it's like at a certain point it just gets kind of out of hand where you're like, and again, I'm sure there's plenty of examples of other people's art that have the same kind of their trappings, where they're like, yeah, they're in rubble, so therefore now they look like they're in a hellscape where there's these spiky rocks. And no, these aren't spiky rocks. They're parts of the bookcase that protrude out the, which again, to some extent, is cool or in moderation. Uh, this is a decent pose. I like this pose. I like that whatever they did here, either the colorist was like nah, or Rob didn't know which one should be in the front or the back, so he did both. So he's got a ghost. He's got a ghost leg that also looks like it disappears in the smoke. I okay. I don't like this. Get rid of this. I don't even know if you need that leg there. Like, does it? I mean, his crotch. That doesn't make. I don't think that makes any sense. Again, badass look. I love the look. There's a reason also why Pocket Joe kind of looks like this. If you don't know what that is, it's my own comic book. I'm uh, go look at it. I'll probably make a video about it again, and tear a new one out of, make fun of my own comic. But I feel like I took a little bit of the inspiration by like the at least the way that like the, of all things, it's not in kind of a coincidence for the most part, but like to some extent these like browy and then his like squinty eyes that are clearly all solid. And Pagano has kind of a similar expression sometimes when he's just narrowing his eyes. Anyways, enough about something that you probably don't have any clue what I'm talking about. Once again, I want to believe that he knows what he's doing here with all these enemies. Like, but I've seen when he draws full bodies, they're okay, they're competent enough. But then when he does this, it's like I'm gonna kayfabe it a little bit. I'm gonna like, yeah, that's where your leg and your knee is when you're hunched over like this. I don't think so, but whatever. Again, just because I'm saying these things doesn't mean I'm necessarily again a hater. It's just again from one artist to another, like what the fuck is going on, dude? Um, also, I'm trying to think of. He's here. He's here. I'm assuming there's like a not too much of a distance between them, but then here makes it look like as he stands up, is that like the foreshortening of this shot make that look farther away, or am I just looking too hard into something like that? Also, why are you having biggest thing with me is you can do this if okay, well, here's my rule that is not necessarily a good one or whatever. Whatever. I'll just say it. If you want to do this, and I'm sure I've done this myself, one of two things. One, I don't think the character that's cutting into this character should be in this frame. There's something about that redundancy of it. Like, why would you cut? Like, why would Deadpool's leg come into and his arm come into like block himself? Again, I know it's like again, it's just a drawing. Like that, it's the draw. Like I don't need to like go into great detail about who like the actual metaphysical location of this image with this one. But again, that's what comics are. Is you're supposed to prove to me why you did this choice, aesthetic, or whatever, this design. And to me, again, I just don't see why. Also, he never has a weapon like drawn immediately. Like you'd think, like once he blew up something, doing the hands, fear me, I come to kill you. I got all my weapons, but none of them are in my hand. Like that is a stupid choice. I think that's one of the bigger stupid choices. Also, his swords are slipping down towards his ass. Oh no, I don't. Those look like shit. This pose kind of looks like shit. Uh, this is a hard angle to draw. Again, this is where I like every other thing I make here. Well, for every four things I make fun of him for, there's like one where I'm like, it's kind of obnoxious to do this. Like, it's not like this is a solid pose. Like, it's not probably right, but it's good. But like, fuck me, like I this is why I would hate to have guns in my comic, just because it's like I don't know. I just hate this fucking pose, trying to just make that look compelling and convincing. Um, but yeah, no, this isn't good. Again, I like his design for his face. Like it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but I kind of like it. Um, but no, yeah, again, the rule is just you don't. I don't feel like you need to like have him cross into his other because this is even again also this is a cooler picture. Like this is a cooler shot than this is. Like I feel like the leading this towards this, you would want to like, and you're also overlapping. Sometimes you do overlap like previous shots or whatever. Again, we just looked at one over on the next one, but every once in a while, I feel like when in the sequence of reading this page, you're going down this way, right? You're going to the next one. The previous panel or previous art that you had just read comes in and goes, well, hold on, I'm still here. While you're looking at this badass picture, kind of defeats the badassery of this picture. And actually, I feel like that kind of ruins it. So, like, yeah, I get that, like, you want to draw out the whole body. And at the end of the day, I've also noticed sometimes the original art, every once in a while, the original art, and I'll explain it when we're looking at a Wolverine over here. Uh, that the original art sometimes looks a little bit better. I mean, not just because it's bigger or whatever, but like I don't know. There's sometimes there's like a scaling where like the original art might have looked just fine. Like some of these choices I don't know. I don't understand it, but I feel like I've seen it where you look at the original art and you're like, yeah, it doesn't look too bad. And then like you look at like the printed copy of it and you're like, why the fuck does it look like this? Like maybe it's like maybe all again going back to the coloring, having that red on red where it's already kind of bleeding into him, like this weird. It just I don't know. It feels like for being a 2024 joke, it looks kind of like AI art, where you're like, I don't know what's going on here. It's bleeding together enough to where, like, if you squint, maybe you can be like, yeah, that's his leg. Um, so yeah, there's not enough contrast or whatever to actually like break away these this image. Anyways, um, again, it's hard to draw certain things, and so like him pointing the gun at him, finally pulling a gun out, just to lose it because clearly it's not in his hand here. This isn't too bad. I guess what I wonder though is as he's coming this way, he needs to make a sharp. Okay, now I just realized this doesn't make any. Well, no, I don't think that makes any sense to go like this because he looks like he's going straight towards his back, like just going to completely just destroy you from behind. And but somehow here he manages to go because this looks like he's coming from down. He's coming down, dive bombing, and then turning sharp, and then doing like a glancing blow to his back. Here it looks like he's coming slowly down parallel, and he's gonna just right there, which actually probably is a better choice, even though it might smash into Cable. But Cable, you could show a picture of him jumping away out of the way, like because he can see clearly, he can see his homie coming in to kick his ass. So like you'd be like, I'm here to kill you, Arrivederci. And then he's just like, Arriva my balls sack. And then he just jumps out of the way. And then this guy smashes into him. And he's just like, woohoo, I did it. See, I did it. Um, this is funny. Like, he gets hit, glancing blow. You don't want your enemy to be like, oh man, you hurt me a little bit, but I have enough. And, I'm good enough to whip out this kinky squid leather strappy rappy thing, which they should have showed this in the fucking like one of the Deadpool movies. That'd be hilarious. Like that would be a deep cut. Be like, what the fuck is this? I'll show you. And then it wraps the guy, and he's just like, I need one of those. Um, yeah. So that apparently he has just what he needs. to tangle up a guy that's propelling himself, and somehow that fucks with his momentum. I doubt it. Um, he would just be bound up, but he'd still be flying around. He'd just be bound and flying. I don't see the problem with that. And you just, I don't know. It's hard for me not to sound like, oh, I'm just gonna make your fight scene better for you, dude. Who am I? But I don't know. To me, I can imagine he's bound up and he's still able to fly around, and then he's just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna headbutt you, and then like come back around and be like, you clearly are stupid. But no, it's good enough. It's not even tightening a whole lot. Like he's somehow defeated while it's vaguely. This would happen if you were walking. Yeah, if he was running, like if he was a speedster or something, and he's tripped over, but he's flying. Like there's nothing. That's not keeping him from you know being a Robert. Get it? Uh, he's naked, naked pool. I want that. I want a naked pool where he's just naked and then he has his mask on. I'm totally joking. Um, this is not too bad. But then you break the 180 rule and he's punching. Now I'm wondering, is the camera? That's why I'm asking. When it comes to the 180 rule is if he's punching this way, right, arm, and then you flip the camera and he's punching with the same hand, arm, but it's going the other direction. Is it the same punch, or is that a second punch that he's like you're messing with my brain thinking. Also, it makes you think that wait, well, that's got to be his other arm because it's silver. But guess what? That's his right arm. Guess what? That's also his right arm. I'd love to think that I I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. Whatever. Also, what the fuck is this hand? Again, why are you making hands go? I love making hands, right? I love drawing hands, doing gestures, right? Your face and your hands are going to be the best, your best tools for gesturing and expressing in your characters expressing themselves in your comic. But I don't know. There's just like too much just like it's not even like good hand gestures where like they don't even feel like they are real hands. Like it's like what an AI would see and oh yeah, that's how a hand works, right? You have this finger right here is just like this finger, so it's long and again, I have shitty hands, but there's no fucking way. Actually, I just realized it's that hand. Oh, that's a pinky. See that? I don't even fucking get it. It looks like one of those thumbs from or actually, I'm thinking of two things. It looks like the thumbs from fucking Spy Kids, and it also reminds me of the hands from Elden Ring because it doesn't it looks uncanny. Also, more spiky wood. That's the color of Deadpool's body. Okay, man. Again, I know this is like ooh, this is a '90s comic that you're judging and whatever, and they only spent so much time on it, and you had to mail it from L.A. to New York or whatever, and deadline this and whatever. Um, but come on, I mean, some of it's kind of like lazy. Like I don't know. Maybe that's why I also feel like that way with my own art, where I'm like, well, I could color it all, but it would take forever, or you know, I could labor. Again, there's a good argument for it, I'm sure. Uh, and I totally vouch for the sake of just get it the fucking thing done. Um, but again, then you have people like me who looks at this, 30 years later and goes, "Why do they do that? Couldn't they for what's the term? Like for future prosperity? Why I'm looking at this and judging it as as the final result unless they remastered this one issue and made next all the difference in the world with like fixing all the inconsistencies and whatnot and perfecting it. Remastering it will solve it. But at the same time, again, fucking hands. Ugh, always this, but they never seem like they're actually real hands. There's just something about them that scare me. Also, I hate this tangent. It looks like Deadpool is stepping down. Doesn't make any sense. And also, the reason why I bring this up is because like you have this gutter here, right? He clearly divided this panel with this panel and made that be an intentional thing. Like, yeah, of course there's gonna, excuse me, of course there's gonna be a gap here, but he doesn't gap here enough to break away from what potentially could confuse these paneling. Because again, just squint a little, bam, it looks like that's just his broken weird ass leg. Like if you, I'd argue if you put that gutter here, you might have gotten away with the reader's eye, not immediately thinking, haha, look at the leg, because that's immediately all I look at is I just see this and look like, and it just looks like a funny looking leg. Um, Even though I know that's again it's not the intent, but also I'm trying to think of like so you throw a knife at his leg, and I guess okay, yeah, no, that works. Okay, I'm okay with this. Um, I don't know really what's going on here. Like I kind of like the minimal color where it's just the red that kind of stands out a little bit, but I don't know. There's something about it's maybe a little too underwhelming. Um, yeah. Okay. And then this gutter is here potentially, but not. Like, what's this little white gap here? Is that a gutter or is that part of the background? Like, is that part of the ceiling? Welcome to the party, pals. Um, let's see what else. What else have we got in this issue? Uh, ooh, little tendrils. Again, the hand. Like this is the one time I think the hand actually kind of works. Not aesthetically, but like for purpose, like the purpose functionality of a hand going yeah, because you've got the little things coming out the wrist. Um, where he's almost about to step over on Spider-Man's sound effect. Uh, Man, Deadpool needed to like reference some of these in his movie just for the joke of like, yeah, I like to throw like little tendrily things at you that will wrap you up and bind you up, inconvenience you. Because in this case, I, who the fuck is this again? I'm not a real nerd, I guess, because I don't know who the fuck this generic mullet man is. One of the new mutants, clearly. It's easy when you have like a more iconic outfit, and I can kind of keep up with like that aesthetic. You know, Cannonball. Also, his ability is very obvious. Um, there's one thing I'd preach is that uh, some things do need to be obnoxiously obvious, or like there needs to be a lot of themes that can, like everyone knows, like oh well, the hallmarks, the trademarks of like a Wolverine, like Schnick, and the blades come out, and he's short, and he's always hairy, and blah blah blah. You know, that's the stuff, right? Here it's like generic white guy with no way to tell me what he does. I mean, again, if this was like a Garth Ennis book or whatever, hey, that works because they're all generic dudes. Um, th- Joke. But I don't know. Unless he's yeah, he's not Colossus, but unless he's like a guy that like is going to eventually quickly turn into another thing, and that's where I don't know. Whatever. I'm going to digress on that hill. And I like this. This is a cool. I like this little pose. This little shot. You got the fonts in the background like that. Finally, boobage. Hell yeah. Been looking at a bunch of dudes' asses. We need some girl frontal leggage. What the hell's this? Oh, wait. He just got by his own weapons, but by a different person. Because he's got these things, these nondescript, sharp objects um, that also got thrown into him. Also, more butts. Maybe I forget how much superheroes are just naked people with color, like without their body parts hanging out. Um, there's something about this that reminds me of an old Mignola picture. Probably shouldn't say Mignola in the same sentence as Liefeld, but got him. Get angry. I like this shot. This is a good solid shot. Good solid tits. Um, the, I love this character design, even though I don't know why everyone has to have these ugly ass hairlines. Um, but yeah, Domino's cool. Um, also, I don't know where she's standing in relations to where I don't know. It's more spikeage. I don't know how else to describe that other than spikeage. Spikeage. Um, Also, we know that this is not Domino or whatever. At least I know that much. Don't care. Now I'm just going to speed through because I'm spent about an hour talking about this comic when everyone probably turned off this video already. Oh, hey, generic guy. What? Who the fuck is this? I'm sure I could guess it. Like, is it Havoc or something before he? You're not Havoc. Yeah, like it's one of those characters where you're just like before he without his iconic outfit on or whatever. Hold on, let's go back real quick. This video is already long enough, so you'll have to just bear with me. I don't know why. Oh, hold on. I think I went too far. Eh, here we go. Okay, so let's see. Is it Richter? That sounds about right. That sounds like a fucking X-Men name. But what's Richter, the post-pube earthquake, gonna do? Oh man, I'm glad I didn't read this. So he's shunking something, shunking all night. Oh, what the hell's going on there? Sleeping alone. Dear Rick. Okay, so it is Richter, which I want to say I know who that is, but if that's it's one of those characters that I feel like, duh, I know that character, but at the same time, who? And who's this guy? Oh, Roberto. Weird. Is it just me? Does this not look like Sunspot a minute ago? Like this looks like he's visiting some random kid. Um, yeah, and this is where Roberto, I think, turns, right? Hangs out with Gideon. That's not weird. I hope he's of legal age because this is going to get questionable. Um, Also, I like this. This is how you sleep, right? He must grind his teeth. Fuck. But then just immediately just eyes open. And then who is it? It's clearly not a perverted weird. This has been a weird video. I feel like this is very, very therapeutic. I apologize if it comes off crass and obnoxious. All right, let's just get to this. This book also sucks too. This is also expensive for no fucking reason either because they fought. It kind of sucks though because like I thought Adam Kubert was a good artist, but I feel like this does not show that. But again, I don't know. A lot of this has got some heavy like Keith Giffen fucking Lobo energy here. Like there's something about like the way that this is all contorted stuff. This is good. I mean, I'm not saying the whole fucking comic's bad. I just think like some of it's kind of like, huh? Where did it go wrong? It's just as memorable as this. Earth 2. I don't even know if this is good or not because I've never heard of it. Um, is that the little? No. Wait, what is that? Is that the little door stopper thing that goes? Oh, I wish that was. I hope that's what that is. Um, if anyone knows what that is, I hope that that's still a thing, and I'm not just. Oh, now he's just showing how crazy he is. Uh, so we got better paper, right? Better cardstock or paper quality. It's the Deadpool, folks. Yeah. So Larry Hama scripted this. Damn. I feel like they just were like, well, Rob did it, so will we, or Todd did it, so will we. Because that's kind of very Spider-Man. Just imagine. That was a genuine laugh. Just imagine like butt bumping down the stairs, going do 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 do, and then shooting. Oh, but dude, again, this is why I don't usually dog on stuff, but I don't know. I kind of want to take the piss out of these two comics. Um, I don't know that, or like I don't. There's this. Now that I look at this picture, it's even funnier than the last time I saw it. Again, I'm not a good artist, but fuck me, it's fun to just laugh at some of this stuff. Don't always take it so serious, people. It's fun. This is good fun. This is a sick pose, but I don't know if you can. I mean, I don't know if that's really possible. I don't know. I mean, it's cool looking. It looks. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to look at it any longer. Again, cribbing some Jim Lee poses. The obligatory Jim Lee jump, like upward thrusting Wolverine attack, like pose. This time we at least see the gun like falling out of his hand. Why does his hand look like there's one finger less than there should be? Even though I know that's not the case, but I don't know why. Is the gapping? These hands look better, not great, but better than the ones we were just looking at. Again, this just looks like they just. No offense to Adam Kubert or whatever, but like, and the other guy that help it pencil or ink, but I feel like he looks like he's just cribbing. He's like literally just photocopied a better artist. Again, no offense to Adam, his dad's good. Um, I like, I kind of like the silhouette look to this. That's kind of neat. I like this is fun. Showing that actually at least shows you. I mean, I don't know if his lip would do that, but at least it shows you kind of the. I guess it kind of shows you the momentum of that. And this is funny how like this is still kind of in the same era as this, even though let's see, that one was 91. I forget when this came out because clearly it's only 4 or 3 years later. Huh. I guess things do kind of go at a snail's pace with some of these, where you think, "Oh, this is only 3 years separated," and it kind of feels like it's not. Like that's why I was just gonna say, like this feels like it was done in the same year. Um, with how they're just kind of cribbing off each other. Now, again, this leg looks weird, but I feel like this makes way more sense than any Rob Liefeld anatomy. Also, I feel like the cross hatching is that's the proper way of cross hatching. Like you wouldn't extend out the lines to like really far out. You make them short and whatever. They're supposed to be. It's supposed to create a gradient in your to the eye. Um, some solid arm hair, some good arm hair. Again, I don't know. I probably could pick apart this fight scene about how it flows. So you slice. I don't. How did he snag his arm? Unless he was ripping through his arm, but it's not gory enough to look like he's cutting through his arm. Um, so he lunges up or slices him up. Then he like what does he slap him back down? Like slaps him. Looks like he just smacks him in the back of the head like you idiot. But then he throws him. But then he's as he's kind of flipping around, rotating, he comes back down with a kick, but then or not, or is he getting? Okay, I just realized. Yeah, this looks good. I like this. Solid. The seed like this, I don't mind when you do like these like this brush effect where it's part of the feature of the brush itself. It's not like you just going something about that it's not as intentional and it's just the byproduct of using kind of a dry brush effect or something. Like that looks better. I'd rather have that be the case than oh, I'm just going to draw lines parallel and then across. And you're just like, okay, fine. You might as well have blacked it out or gave it more dynamicism or the noise that's here, at least whatever. Um, some black blood, a little bit of red, but that that's some gnarly blood. I don't know about that blood. This is okay. Here's an example of I've seen the original art of it, and there's something about seeing the original art and the way it lays out. Like I really have to kind of got to really stretch this comic book out in order to see that full spread. Which honestly, this is a pretty solid shot. Like that's why I brought up the whole original art thing was because I remember seeing this and going, "This looks like shit." And then I looked at the original art and it doesn't look that bad. Like there's something about how the spine of this kind of destroys the illusion or the look of this, where it just kind of looks like shit. Um, Solid foreshortening. I like this a lot. Like um, the execution of this just is good, but not in this. Like go look for the original art of this. Like I'll give you a second. Anyways, um, and I just like the way it's cropped more in the original art. And of course, this is a 2-page spread. And when you draw it, you're just laying two pieces of paper next to each other. But when you then put it in a saddle stitched book, and it has a little bit of a I just call this a gutter, even though it's not really probably a gutter. It's probably there's probably a word for this, but it gets lost in this little crevice here, and I just feel like that just breaks the illusion of it. Like because like again, without destroying the comic, and I am that much of a loser to not want to actually destroy this comic because it's way too expensive for that. But I didn't pay any money for this, so whatever. This is kind of neat, even though that's not what the words are, but it's what they should be. I just does yeah. I can't help but feel like I'm seeing like Keith Giffen and what is that? The Marvel Presents stuff with his like Wolverine and whatever that metal armed guy's name is. I always forget his name. He's cool design where he's like an adamantium armed guy and he's one of the lesser known villains of the like Weapon X program crap, and he's got like virus venomy poisony fingertips or whatever. Always wears his trench coat and like cool hat thing, and it always looks badass. And Keith Gibbons stylings, um, but he's clearly a character that is so peripheral that I can't remember his name off the top of my head. And they made it like a Marvel Legends figure of him recently, so he finally got his day in the sunlight or whatever that term, whatever that saying is. But yeah, this is a solid thing. I think we're starting to get into mid 90s where they're finally starting to embrace the digital computer stuff. So like I think this is unless this is just a what is that called color holding thing where you just tell them you want this to be a different color than the black, but it just looks like digital and a digital effect or something. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's the gradient, but these lines I'm sure are just black lines. I'm not looking at the original art, but I want to say they're just probably black lines in the original art. But I feel like that would then get lost. The lines would get lost, kind of, or his pose would get lost with the lines in there. I always loved like the choice of like exaggerating certain things. Like I kind of do dig the like dangerously sharp and unnecessarily long boot spikes. I don't know what else you call those, but I think that's and it also I like how when you do that, you kind of have to then reference that with the same because these are kind of paralleling each other in terms of motif. So like this would have to. I feel like you would have to then make this just as wacky or as exaggerated as this for that. Um, Again, I like this hand. Good hand. There we go. I finally said something about a hand that good hand, no questions. Uh, and he's kicking him. What's funny about this, like I am going to drop the whole Wolverine versus Deadpool or Wolverine and Deadpool movie for the first time, even though that's the whole point of this video. Um, they always, for whatever reason, they're making comic accurate Wolverine look shorter than I feel like he is. There was something about the way he just, I mean, it's probably literally the right thing, but I don't know. For example, I don't know. They don't feel like they're too much smaller. Like that's why I always feel like it's weird to see like characters fighting Wolverine. Like Wolverine never looks like a little manlet or whatever. I like this pose. I like again. I'm liking this motif of the this whole kind of theme of like every once in a while there'll be like this. I don't know if it needs to be a thing or if there's a point to it, but I do like the black and then some of the elements of the character stand out. Like that's a neat design. I'm kind of speeding a little bit through this. This is a okay shot right here. I kind of like this where it's just a little, you got all this crazy and then it's like, and then stage left. He's got to leave. At least they kind of break it up where there's like a black in the, even though it's not the most important thing, I guess, or well, I don't know. I do like the idea that you would black this out instead of make this all black and then make like that would change. This would change the whole like even the mood of this where if you made this the hot like the color like the bright colors and the like you just literally just did whatever here and then you did the dark black and blue kind of motif back here like a color scheme that would change the whole I feel like dynamic of it. Like here it almost makes it look like he's dead and we don't give a shit, we don't care because even though this is Wolverine's comic, but if he was colored highlighted and then they made that background, I don't know, whatever, that's a fun little example of playing around with the design there. Um, Here, this just looks like he's just beating a hoe. Oh, it's a headless. Wait. Oh, it is. Oh, I just realized. I was like, why does it look like he's just snatching up on this woman's head? And then I realized it is just a head, severed head. And then the real one is here. Like that's kind of fucked. Like I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to play where the real person also has a head, like a separate head, and it's like you're that's cool. I like that we're doing a play that has my severed head in it. Makes no sense. I'm sure it does if I read it. Oh my gosh, he doesn't read comics. I've read comics. I don't want to read these ones though. I always keep forgetting he has like a blind eye, like a white eye there, because I'm like, what the fuck's that? Also, they also wanted to just crib like. There's something about this that makes oh, what is it? This looks like a Frank Quitely thing. There's something about that looks Frank Quitely esque right here, like this little spot here. I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't know what to say about this. This is pretty solid. All the staging and stuff seems about right. Again, there's like a weird gutter thing going here where you have to kind of pull it. Uh, I like this character because she just has axes and knives and shit stabbed into her for whatever reason. Sometimes when you do these things where like it's not the point of like oh yeah we need to know the context of this situation where they're doing a what is it like stage like a dry rehearsal or whatever they call it or dress rehearsal or whatever. But sometimes you're just kind of like I kind of want to know why this character has just got knives stabbed in them, and they're just standing there. And other times I don't give a fuck. This is a cool character. I like this character. I don't know who this is. I'm not nerdy enough to know this character and why she would then also have a severed head in whatever. Deadpool shows up apparently. Um, like this whole, I hate this comic. I don't know why this is $100. Um, oh, because they fought for the first time. That's all that matters. I kind of like this. This is cool. You know, he got to brace himself with his claws. Um, oh, wait. Oh, why did you do that, Wolverine? What the fuck? Are you drunk? He just crashed his face into that. Again, I say I hate this comic, but the joke is there's some good stuff in it. There's some, I don't. I'm making more of a joke about the culture around comics and speculating and whatnot. Um, and it's funny to just take the piss out of everything. But this is a pretty sweet shot. You can see his face in the reflection or whatever. But it's all wait. But he also smashed his face in, and yeah, that's pretty pristine looking glass for or like shot of his face after he smashed his face into it. Whatever. I guess I must be thinking too much into it. Stop thinking about it so hard. 7-Eleven. I don't know what that says. Mandel. I don't know. Not. Is that a real? What is that? I thought it was cigarettes. It's supposed to be Camel, but with also the other cigarette company's logo. Uh, you know, you got robed up Logan. I guess he snatched up that Mister Doctor or Mister. I was gonna say Mister Strange. Doctor Strange's nightwear. Then he's talking to I don't know. Is that someone in the bullpen? It looks kind of like someone that they're like, I get it. You're in it as a cab driver. That's pretty sick. I like the kind of ominous face. Then then a close up to whatever the fuck this face is. Um, yeah. There's I guess this is the next fight. Damn, those are tiny little like fencing swords. Those are not cool. The rule of cool is not there with those swords. Uh, I don't know about this picture either. I'm not really liking the visuals of that. Looks kind of I don't know. Reads funny. Then off they do this battle. I guess this guy Colossus his arms. It's not too bad. Again, I still miss the like. I don't know. There is something about Rob Liefeld's way of just drawing his face that I like aesthetically. Boobage, hell yeah. Uh, so yeah, she's beating the shit out of Deadpool. So clearly she's stronger than Deadpool? Question mark. Uh, pose and then he jump up. I don't know, and don't know what that's going on there. Let's just wrap this up. I don't think anyone wants to listen to me make fun of this comic for 2 hours. Uh, yeah. Oh, wait. I'm pretty sure that's a different guy. I got to be that guy that does this. Hold on. Oop, too far. Too far. Okay. Look at this guy. Right? It's fairly consistent there. Now, this guy. He got a little trim on his mustache since we last saw him, and his cool glasses are different. I mean, he could be a different. I don't know. No, no, he's the same guy. He's got the rosary. That's also changed. It's almost like someone else drew this. Actually, you know what? Fuck, it probably did. Hold on, because I know I'm smelling some funny business. So I think we had Adam Kubert and Fabio Lazuna pencilers. and then you had Mark Farmer. Oh, I just figured it out. I've already looked at this, but I just realized I don't know why my brain just was like, there's two pencilers and there's two inkers. That's why this is a fucking complete mess of a comic, because there's two pencilers which will have two stylings that will either, if they're on the same page, it's going to be weird and clashing, and it's not going to have the same. The artist hand will be more obvious, or not obvious, but it'll be more jarring that they try to collage each other's penciling, which I don't think is the case. It's probably one of those cases where every other picture, like this one, probably is not drawn by Adam Kubert, for example, and that's why it sucks. Um, and it's inked by someone else or whatever, and then you have so many possibilities of two pencilers and two inkers, and then mixing and matching those creates another like argument for like consistency and confusion. Because then I don't know, like I feel like the again, the bad artist or the not as good artists doing certain pages look better. So like, I mean, that's not a bad Logan like face, like Wolverine face. Like these are cool. I mean, I also just realized his eyes go white even though they're not in his mask, but he's got eyes there. But yeah, this clearly is someone else doing this, and I think this looks not as good. And they didn't look at the other guy's stuff. Again, 90s comics, they had to mail them old school across the country or whatever. Blah, blah, blah. They weren't in the same room together. I like this pose. Like, I like that, like, you can kind of clearly see that getting whacked with this foot, even though I don't like that pose, um, clearly gives that impression with his facial expressions. Got some Liefeld's fingeries going on there. I guess you need to have some type of. Actually, I just realized this has got some Liefeld in this uh, page, and then because you got like some of these things, little. Uh, for some reason, his I don't understand this comic, and that's why people will not like this video. But yeah, I mean that shows speed. I like that. That doesn't. Um, the guy. Oh, hey, homie's back. This looks like Adam Kubert art a little bit. I like this shot of this guy. Oh, his cool glasses are back. His mustache. Yo, Wolverine is so cool. Look at him. He's using this door as a sled to go down. I guess a, a whatever, like a San Francisco street or something. Because otherwise, I don't know how far you're gonna get there, dude. Um, I don't know what's going on there. Sorry for the glare. Some like drippage going on. Blood maybe, but it's not filled out. So he's about to attack double blade this guy. His girl. What is she doing? I just realized what she whammed him. Somehow whammed him or thwammed him, which then made him kind of go falling forward. But before that, he had enough time to like rotate and kick up, stab in the ground, which is weird because I'm pretty sure unless this guy moved out of the way, homie would have technically been like right there. And I mean, no one tries to kill someone like unnecessarily too far away because now he'd be too far to kill him. I mean, unless he's trying to hit him with the very ends of his swords. But then he manages to stab the ground, then kick back, which I don't know if that's. I don't think that's possible. Um, she gets lunged. Her boob gets all fucked up. Unless that's a some other effect that doesn't. It's not supposed to be your boob. Um, Homie's angry now. Oh shit! And Wolverine comes crashing in somehow. Okay, what the? Uh, Again, I know this is a comic book. Who gives a fuck? But I kind of want to know why that he just comes crashing through like this. Um, why does this guy like? Is this guy supposed to be like a cable light guy? Because I don't even know who this is. We need to have old Knucklehead, be a thing more often. I kind of like that. I actually don't think I've ever heard of that, and that's probably the best line in this whole thing. Not like the old Knucklehead, that is. This is a pretty solid diss. I like that. Um, Grenade. Um, I pretty much ran out of things to say about this stuff. Now, my eyes are being assaulted by detail. Holy fuck. This is kind of why I didn't really like most 90s comics because they just weren't. These aren't. I don't think this is good. Again, my opinion. Um, yeah. What a wet fart of an end because I didn't like looking at that at all. This cover. Eh, in theory, I like the idea of it, the thought of it, but I don't know. It's all right. Yeah, yeah. Well, well, thanks for staying with me for an hour and a half I just basically lampooned or goofed and whatnot on Deadpool and Wolverine stuff. I'm gonna try and make more videos. We'll see. But again, thank you guys. Subscribe if you thought this was at least somewhat entertaining, and or if you hated it, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. I kind of wish thumbs down was still a thing with YouTube, so you can, show your enthusiasm in whatever direction you like to use it. And as always, thanks for watching. Four Eyes out.